Good evening, everyone. My name is WYG, metric number 7809140350240001. I'm from OUMH1303. It's a pleasure to being able to record a presentation for the assignment meant for OUMH1303 English for Oral Communication. Now, the title of my speech today is E-learning versus face-to-face learning. I am about to present an informative speech, which is consisted of an introduction, body, with some information that might be of your interest, and also a conclusion with some takeaways for you. What is e-learning? And what is face-to-face learning? First and foremost, e-learning is any form of learning that is conducted online. Online being, it can be in the mode of video conferencing, it can be in the mode of recording, PowerPoint presentation, through Zoom, Google Meet. There are many different modes of online learning. When it is online learning, we do not meet in person. And what is face-to-face learning? Face-to-face learning is a traditional mode of learning where children or adults, being students, get together in a room, a classroom, and listen to the lecture or listen to the teacher's instructions and learn in the most conventional way. So there has been lots of debates between which is better, e-learning or face-to-face learning. Now, when we were hit hard by COVID-19 pandemic, there were so many cases that many were killed. So children were asked not to attend school. With that, the parents, the children struggled to learn. But learning cannot stop. We cannot afford to have learning stopped because children will have to cover the types of syllabus that they are in, and teachers have the obligations to teach the children while they age slowly. So what to do when we can't go to the school and we can't meet the teachers? So the only learning mode that is available during the COVID-19 pandemic is online learning. Whether we like it or not, we have to resort to online learning. It's the safest mode because we can have it at home. We just need a laptop or a handphone, tablet, iPad, a gadget that will connect you to the internet, and so that you will appear on screen and your instructor, your teachers will be able to communicate with you. How wonderful. However, many parents have voiced out their concerns about online learning and question the effectiveness of online learning. Many teachers do struggle while preparing the materials, while preparing the syllabus online. We have had everything conventionally printed materials before this. So it was pretty hard for the parents and teachers as well as students to adapt to online learning. Now, what is my stand on this? Let me go through the advantages and disadvantages of e-learning very quickly or online learning very quickly. I am a teacher of kindergarten. As for preschoolers, face-to-face learning is always the best. While online learning keeps them safe for the past 2 years, now we are finally open and our kindergarten is back on track. We are thrilled to have the children back personally, in person, physically in class. And we are happy every day having them in class, and learning has been effective ever since. Now, the advantage of online learning. First, in terms of timing and venue, you don't have to think about that. Most likely, both parties will agree on the timing, and no reasons for no challenges in terms of venue. However, you need parental involvement if it's for preschoolers. So you need parents, guardians to sit next to the 4-year-old or the 5-year-old while they are having the online class. Now, the disadvantages. The 4-year-old and 5-year-old preschoolers, they might find it lonely facing the screen. Although the teachers and instructors are there, there is only so much that you can do to keep them attentive. As we know, preschoolers, they have very short span of attention. No matter how active you are on screen with the children, you can't grab them, you can't touch them, you can't play with them, you can't be lively. So with that, we will have difficulty in getting them to stay focused, and slowly they'll become very emotional, a little depressed, because they struggle with the learning, with the new form of learning. And as for teachers, we struggle too, because we are so confined to only verbal communication. In the conventional classroom, we have blocks, we have puzzles, we have all kinds of tools, musical instruments for them to learn the rhymes, for them to learn reading. We have flashcards. So the disadvantages of e-learning, particularly confined to preschoolers in this context, are that it's hard to get them to stay focused. They feel lonely and they are emotionally disturbed, and it's very difficult to have different learning styles on screen. And so sometimes parents or guardians struggle too, because they have to sit next to the children and they have to work. So with that, e-learning is not that effective for preschoolers. Perhaps for adult learners, e-learning is always a preferred method, but never for preschoolers. Now let me move to the second point, the advantages and disadvantages of face-to-face learning. Now, as we favor face-to-face learning among the preschoolers, let me quickly recap why we prefer face-to-face learning. Now, with face-to-face learning, we have the children with us. Better communication, better support, better interaction. And we could make social connections with them. And children of the 4-year-old and 5-year-old, they can make social connections with their friends too. All kinds of activities can be done to promote greater teamwork, leadership, communication skills, and we can see how they use their 5 senses to learn. Eyes, ears, nose, taste, and touch. All the 5 senses in learning. There are also fewer distractions, because when they start to be moving around and they start to lose the attention span, we can go, okay, class, quiet, please sit down. You can't do that with online learning, because no matter how you yell or how you scream, you might not get the result because they are on the other end of the screen. And as for physical learning in person, we can do learning indoor and outdoor. We can bring them running in the field. We can have all kinds of activities under the sun. Mother Nature has the best crayons. So if they sit in front of the screen for online learning, there's only so much that we can do. It is also healthier to stay outdoor and to stay indoor with good ventilation of air for the children to grow physically, emotionally, socially, and of course, in terms of learning, it will be more effective. Now, what are then the disadvantages of face-to-face learning? I suppose we should not have any disadvantages because prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have always been using face-to-face learning and it works perfectly well. So in the current situation where we are still struggling with COVID-19, that we are slipping into endemic, well, face-to-face learning becomes a little, we have to do it at the expense of our safety or health. So I would say, if you ask me as a kindergarten teacher, which mode of learning is the best, whether it's e-learning or face-to-face learning? Very clearly, I would always prefer face-to-face learning. It's very enjoyable. It's very effective. For the children being young, need to be nurtured physically. And parents, although they are a little worried now that their children are in school because of the possible spread of virus, but we have all lived through the pandemic. We have all made it. We survived. And we should be proud that we have experienced e-learning, and it's time now to embrace face-to-face learning because that is the best learning. So with that, allow me to conclude my informative speech. While e-learning has its own advantages, for preschoolers, in the kindergarten, in nursery center, for young children, face-to-face learning remains the best. Thank you.